Back to our show. Thanks everyone coming back for the fourth part. This episode may be more than our normal hour. This episode, so got a few more things to talk about here.
Let's just make sure we cut out the medical emergency.
Yes, exactly. Okay, this particular episode, part of the episode is going to be talking about connections. Okay, and this particular connection is going to be happening on the 15th of November, and it is International Game Day.
Yay!
Remember the 15th of November.
It's the new little thing. We'll put it on a sticker. Bam, right there on a sticker. You know?
Doesn't roll off the tongue as well as the 5th.
No, but hey.
Close enough.
We hope you don't forget the 15th of November. It's also listed plainly on your particular of the newsletter. You can check the newsletter out. It's on the 15th. Okay. Being that this is going to be held through the library systems, across US, we thought it would be very apropos that Jerome Montgomery,
That's me.
discuss this with us, being that he is a library staff member.
That's right. I'm technically not a librarian because I do not have a science degree in library science. Okay. So,
Can't even say it.
International Game Day is a setup by the American Library Association as well as the Australian Library and Information Institute. God, that's hard to say. Along with Nordic Game Day. This is its 7th year running, and we're going to have over 200 libraries around the world participating.
Wow.
Exactly. And basically what it is a community event celebrating the world's love of games. And that's video games. That's card games, board games, activity games. Any kind of gaming you could think of is going to be happening around the world almost simultaneously. Okay, not simultaneously because there's, time delays and shifts and all this. All that good
So,
stuff.
in no way simultaneously will we be playing games on that day around the globe.
No.
There you go. I dare anyone to play it in the same time zone.
And I don't know how many libraries in Georgia are doing it. I have not seen any promoting it. My library of Greene County in Greensboro, Georgia, is going to be open from 10 to 4 on November the 15th. That's 2 hours longer than we're normally open. We're extending hours just for this so that we can have International Games Day. So far, we've got games for the tots, like the Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh, wow.
A game based on the book of the Hungry Caterpillar. We're having Don't Break the Ice, the old game. Ants in Your Pants. For the older kids, we're having headbands, where you put a verb a noun on your head, and the people around you have to act out the verb, and you have to try and guess. We're going to be doing Rabbit Hole, which is kind of like the game Cornhole. Yeah, where you toss a beanbag into a wooden...
Right.
Well, our library is Uncle Remus Library.
Brer Rabbit down in that
That's right.
that tall baby.
Oh, God.
What? So you don't understand Uncle Remus?
No. Stop.
We're going to go down and get ourselves a Brer Rabbit.
That-
Brer Fox, Brer Bear.
Oh, my God. I wish I hadn't started that.
Sorry.
That Disney POS has nothing to do with the actual Uncle Remus stories.
Actually, the stories were written by several people that are not associated with Disney. They're actually a book, the actual Uncle Remus Museum.
Yes.
And you actually get to see the Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear and Brer Fox.
And they're not portrayed.
They're not as cartoon-like, bad goings of the South.
Yeah, that Song of the South was not...
A disaster. It was a disaster. They kept that in the vault and it should stay there.
Yes.
But anyway, I apologize.
That's okay. but we're having Rabbit Hole because we're Uncle Remus. So then for the teenagers, we're going to have your regular Monopoly, your chess, your checkers. We're going to have, pin the tail on the rabbit, I think. We're also going to be opening up video games. We're going to be bringing out our technology program. We got iPads and Nabbies as part of a technology grant, as well as an Xbox One.
Okay.
And people can play 30 minutes at a time on these devices.
Cool.
Do you happen to have the PC games too, or?
No, we actually don't have any PC games. This is our first year doing it, so we're not going to have any actual PC games. But people will be able to use the iPads, and there's lots of game apps on those iPads, as well as the video game systems. We're also going to have you,
yes,
Jason Bullock.
I will be there.
Running a World of Darkness White Wolf game. I think I said Darkness.
No,
Darkness?
you said
Dark!
You said Darkness.
World of Darkness White Wolf Promethean the Created.
Yes.
Which is an RPG. Google it. We're also going to have somebody running Dungeons and Dragons. And then we're going to have more adult games too. Again, Monopoly. We're going to be doing Risk.
Yeah.
Just 5-card stud and, just a whole bunch of games. One of the cool things is we're taking part in Global Guess What.
Oh, okay.
And basically, it's like the old Whisper game.
Yeah.
Where I whisper, hello teacup to you, and
Exactly.
you whisper,
Something.
What have I heard to her?
I bit off more than I could chew.
We end up with clothing in a washing machine in China.
Exactly.
At the end of it.
We always call that Chinese whisper, so.
Last year, the game went on for 27 hours. And they started with, to live free, you have to play, was the starting phrase. Ended up with, don't tip my teacup. So it started in Australia and went all over the world and ended in Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're hoping
that's amazing
to take part in that.
So
you guys should check us out. You can register. We have registration. It's absolutely free. We just want you to register so we know how many people are coming at www.uncleremus.org/Greene, Grr. No, wait. I'm spelling that wrong, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
uncleremus.com/GREENE. And then at the bottom, you'll see the International Games Day registration link.
Excellent.
And we hope to see you there.
Everyone, be there. You cannot afford to pass up an obviously fun day of free fun activity.
Yeah, and the way we're putting it is we're trying to bring the community together with friends, family, and strangers to have a fun family game day.
There you go. And that's the most important thing is to, there's a line that I have to say that I stole out of Sorcerer's Apprentice, the movie, that I think is most appropriate. When the friend of the young guy who supposedly this Merlin-esque type character who's finally getting into the middle of all this crazy magic and stuff, and he says, "I don't know what you're into, but you are participating." That's what you have to be. Participate.
Okay.
Sorry. You okay?
You poked me a little hard.
I do apologize. I'm participating.
No, it's a perfect comment. That's what we want. And, that's what's missing in our libraries is people participating. Because they have these iDevices and they're all junked out on social media. And I literally say this online, on when I'm promoting the Games Day. Get out of the social media jungle and get in to your community and just participate.
That's really the most important thing. That's excellent. We applaud everything that you're doing, Mr. Jerome. Thank you very much for bringing that to the table. It's important. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. All of our listeners, you know who you are. You better be there. Okay. I think we're going to take this right into the last section, culture. So, everybody who started listening to us, tough crap, we've got one more section.
Just when you thought it's over.
Dun, dun, dun! Art and films in Georgia is really what we're going to talk about, focusing on this. And then I want to talk a little bit about our special friends of November, what it means to a lot of us writers. The section of the culture, though, is Big Hero 6 is a movie that Disney's putting out that's based on a Marvel property. Despite the haggling back and forth and the conflict of, we want these characters to be in it, but we can't afford to take them away because they're connected with the X-Men and the other companies own the rights to them. And then, no, we wanted it to be older. No, you want the story. So ultimately, what we're provided with from Disney is an independent-esque version of the Marvel comic, Big Hero 6. So we get a floopy-looking blow-up robot named Baymax, and Hero is decided to fight against the evils in San Francisco. That's the conglomerate of the modern era that he lives in. And to do this, he decides to use a custom-developed printer and builds armor for Baymax, so he can be cool like the other robots out there. Because Scotch tape only works so far when you're blowing up a balloon. If you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like a bagpipe.
Yeah, exactly. So then you get with Hero and Baymax, and they get their friends Gogo Tomoko, Honey Lemon, and Wasabi, and Fred. Fred, I haven't figured out who Fred's supposed to be, considering those are the two replacement characters for Sunfire from the X-Men and Silver Samurai, his cousin.
I suppose Sunfire is Wasabi, because that crap is hot.
But why would you name Fred the Silver Samurai?
I don't know. I call my guardian angel Bob.
Well, I'm sure you're calling him quite a bit. Whether you
That's true.
whether the answers or not, that's entirely up to you guys. Okay. But so I don't want people going into this movie, the purists, thinking this is going to be a Marvel comic movie. It's not really. It's a Disney movie. It's aimed at the younger kids. Their own storyline is separate. It's going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. The villain is the same one used in the Marvel comic, okay, in the miniseries. And it takes place in a huge amusement park, just like in the thing. But don't expect to see a certain level of Marvel-like characters. They've pretty much, I don't want to say dumbed these down. They have modernized them for the current audience.
So they've dumbed them down.
There you go.
Child-friendly.
Yes, child-friendly for Big Hero 6.
So they've dumbed them down.
They dumbed them down. So that's what I wanted to warn everybody. So I do want to see this, though.
You know what? At this point, I think that all comic fans should know, going into the theaters, that the movie you're going to see is not what you read in the comics. At this point, every comic reader should know that. Because it's just the simple fact that everything that we read cannot translate onto screen like we want it to.
The theater of the mind does not translate well
Exactly.
to the theater of the real.
So whether it's this or Wolverine Origins, as much as we hate that movie, or
any of the X-Men films.
I like the first X-Men.
Okay, well,
I like Days of Future Past.
Well, the original debacles.
Yeah, I mean
2 and 3 just stunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Just be honest about it, it stunk. But they're trying to recuperate from what.
Yeah, I mean you really should not go into it thinking that it's going to be exactly like it.
And I think they preface themselves a lot of times by saying, based on the
exactly.
So
exactly.
They're not saying this is exactly verbatim. So
I mean, only in certain circumstances should a movie be shunned and looked down upon. Is, for example, The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at this point, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
At this point, it didn't happen, and that's the only time it should really be
retconned.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally retconned.
All right, sorry.
Okay. Well, knowing that type of event is coming together with the major studios, okay, even within the same company, because Disney owns Marvel, they still have this conflict of studio versus proprietor. Okay, I thought it would be interesting to see if we could actually follow up on a couple of studios going into Georgia now. That we're going to be having an effect because Georgia is becoming the Hollywood of the South. Okay, I'm not talking just Tyler Perry here. Okay, although his bid for the Fort McPherson properties has been put on hold from a judicial standpoint. The lawsuit goes further because another studio is saying they didn't get fair crack at it. Mm-hmm. And so when we thought was a slam dunk, being that Georgia was going to get some money off this property, no, it's on hold.
Well, I mean, Georgia is going to get money off this property either way.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Perry just thinks he can underbid because he's a Georgia
local
man. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think, to be fair, you can't do that. To be fair to the people of Georgia and to be fair to other companies.
No, I agree with you 100%. In fact, Chairman Ward from the IMLRA also agrees with you, saying another contentious issue is the ubiquitous said it provided proprietary information regarding the developmental proposal, including site plans, documents, and a template for the movie studio. Tyler Perry is in possession of its site plans currently and is drawing them according to this lawsuit and should have returned them depending on the legal elements.
For non-legalese, rewind the podcast and listen to what I just said.
He's not playing fair. And actually has several pieces of documents that should have been turned in for this lawsuit to go forward. And now they're suing about the lawsuit. So that's what that basically meant. So Fort McPherson project is kind of on hold. But did you know Pinewood Studios has put in a studio in Atlanta?
Yes, it did.
Pinewood, Atlanta, down in Fayetteville, Georgia.
I actually follow them on not Instagram.
Name another high-tech social media outlet.
No, not Pinterest.
Twitter?
No. LinkedIn. Thank you.
LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah, I follow them on LinkedIn, and they're always posting about job openings and stuff going on with the Pine Woods in Georgia.
What I find amazing is the fact that Fayetteville is only 20 miles from Fairburn, where they hold the Renaissance Festival every year. Mm-hmm. This particular studio is 288 acres. It is huge. It's the one-stop shop for filmmakers and production companies. 6 sound stages, 15,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet each. 300,000 square feet of workshop, office space, and support facilities. Then there's the back lot, which includes forests, rivers, and open areas for filming.
And you know what's good for the filmmakers? Georgia is a red state, so they get tax breaks out the yang.
Oh, yeah.
Which is good for us.
Plus, they advised out for their shareholders to get a 40% interest venture, which means they're going to be making quite a bit of money in the state off of anything going on. Because Georgia is actually, they own like 20% of Pinewood in Atlanta because of the location. So, very good business sense. But did you know about Atlanta Media Campus in Norcross?
I've not heard about that.
Ha ha ha. It's a big movie-making project that just reached blockbuster status here in Norcross, Georgia. They're actually they're the Los Angeles-based company that worked on Iron Man 2 and the Avengers.
Oh?
Yeah. They've chosen to manage the Atlanta Media Campus in Norcross, a 114-acre development with soundstage. That's basically Atlantic Station meets the soundstage. That's how they're describing it. Scope and scale, huge in the country, but not as big as Pinewood, obviously. But the Atlanta Media Campus is located at I-85 and Jimmy Carter Boulevard, which is in Norcross. It will be home to school and condos in the areas, planned 7 sound stages in Hollywood style. You can have everything that looks like it's from New York City to Norcross. So you're going to have all kinds of venues around the effect, looking for pre-made subdivisions that they can actually utilize in their potential filming. So when they obviously open themselves up for condos availability, you could be an extra whether you realize it or not, which is excellent.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
It's me. I'm on TV.
They're actually putting in a feeder school. They're going to have a film school on site at the Atlanta Media Campus to work with the schools around the area.
Huh.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
That's absolutely amazing. But not as amazing as turning Shannon Mall into a film, TV, and studio and distribution warehouse project.
Are you serious?
The Shannon Mall is being set up. Ellis Hensley and Douglas Adams of the Atlanta Business Chronicle wrote an article about Shannon Mall being redeveloped into a 25-acre film and TV campus led by former Turner Entertainment Group and Universal Studios.
That's actually pretty cool because that takes a desolated area and brings business to a building that is just rotting away and is an eyesore on the area.
Oh, yeah.
Total revamp time.
Yep. The firm, the 404 Studio Partners, that's the company, will anchor a 345,000 square foot studio on the site of the former mall. Atlanta-based real estate companies Rooker, which bought Shannon Mall earlier the year, have already started the development project. Union City, where the project is located, will become home to one of the largest studios in Georgia.
That's my old stomping ground area too.
Yeah.
Shannon Mall, Union City, Clayton County, that whole area is just.
They've got the right people in charge of it too. Ed Richardson, who owns R&R Productions worldwide. Brian Livesey, who launched Radish Lighting LLC. John Brubaker produced TVs like Glenn Larson of the modern era, the Aaron Spelling of the modern era. Physical production at Universal Studios, President James Brubaker, he's involved in it.
So is there anything coming out to the Conyers, Covington area?
An invitation to come down this way? I don't know. No, currently, I think they have spread out as much as they can to acclimate old facilities and locations to revitalize and revamp them and give them new life. So thank you, Tyler Perry, for being interested in promoting a lot of things here in Georgia, because you've started a firestorm that you just are not aware of with your oddly endeared Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Okay? Personally, I will say this, and everyone can yell at me, I cannot stand Medea to some degree on the way she talks, but I will have to say Tyler Perry has created a character you will never forget. And now his empire, albeit less than his benefactor, Oprah, it's affecting everyone in Georgia. And it's bringing a lot more to the development than we thought. So, you go. Kudos, Tyler Perry. Good for him. Before we get to the films, for Phase 3, I want to mention NaNoWriMo.
Okay, yeah.
NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.
November is NaNoWriMo month. National Writing Novel Month. Okay? What can I say? It's an attempt at what you would think is impossible from a standpoint of an amateur writer seeking to get started, but it is rewarding if you are able to trouble through.
Yeah, I mean, I know two people, one who's done it twice, and one sitting to my right who's done it once.
It has an awesome book out of it.
I'm working on it.
It seems impossible, but it is not.
Yeah. The goal for you to do is to try to write a novel or at least 50,000 words in a month's period of time. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have it completely finished, but as far as your project, but you want to achieve writing 50,000 words, and loading it up to the site so they can do the word counter for you and everything. Those at the end of the month, you will be acclaimed in high regard of having accomplished and won at NaNoWriMo. Now, what that really means is, you get to win a certificate that says, hey, I won a NaNoWriMo.
Yeah, what did you get out of it? You get to print off a piece of paper.
Yeah, there you go.
You get to buy a T-shirt if you so choose.
If you wish.
Or a button, or a pen, or a bookmark, or, many other things. But you also get 50,000 words in a month.
That, I have to say, having accomplished that myself, it helped me put out my first novel, Gnosis Guidestones. Without it, I would not have had the motivation to succeed. And if it weren't for my friends, Jerome Montgomery, Mary Young, Keith Daniel, Leslie Bullock. They all motivated me to push and to finish what started on NaNoWriMo. And I think that is more intense than actually starting to write the project, is to completing a project. So luckily enough, I was able to go back and add quite a bit more to the story, and have it published. Is now on Amazon.com, that you can get the first edition version of Gnosis Guidestones. Nothing like a shameless self-plug there. But again, because this month, guess what, people? I'm writing the second book.
Woo!
Yep, Gnosis Rapa Nui. So we're going to take you into the Pacific, going down to Easter Island. We're going to see what kind of crap we can deal with down there.
I've attempted 2 out of the last 4 years, and
It's tough.
it's very tough.
It's tough.
I've not succeeded, but I'm still trying.
The idea is to still be involved, and if you're getting a chance to write, that's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
You're writing on it.
I mean, the main thing you got to do is write. I mean, that's all you can do is write. And if you're doing 1,800 words a day, then you can do it.
You'll do it. Whether you're typing it in on your tablet, your touch screen, or you're keying it in on your smartphone, or pen to paper. However you want to do it, it's encouraged to go ahead and to accomplish it.
Yeah, aren't you going to try a new way of doing it this year?
I want to use the live interactive software for Dragon. I want to speak the novel into existence. Dun dun dun.
Well, as someone that has played in your RPGs with you storytelling, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There is one warning with using the Dragon Natural Speak software. You have to make sure you go back to see what you have just written, because it may not think that you were doing what you were doing.
One of the features also that you can set up in the preliminaries is to do a sample speech, and it takes about 15 minutes to do, and it will start to recognize your speech patterns. So again, you do have to slow down, enunciate, and realize that you're speaking at a very even tone.
Also, you have to remember, don't stop repeatedly.
It will put periods there, and it will stop there whether you realize it or not, because it thinks you've completed a sentence. Again, that's not part of the editing process. That is just getting pen to paper, word to page, the image to screen.
Yeah, there's nothing about NaNoWriMo that you should think you have to edit.
No.
A lot of people think, I've got 500 words, I should go back, read this, and edit it.
No, the goal is to put it down on the page.
Get it on paper. That's it.
Planning, extensive notes also permitted, but no previous written material can go into the actual month's event. So,
wow.
according to the official rules,
I, this year, am what's called the NaNoWriMo Rebel.
Oh, okay.
On the forums, you can talk to some other rebels, and you can, there's nothing. Yes, the goal is to write 50,000 words within a month. I've tried twice, and in the last 4 years, and failed. So I'm going to take my first novel. I got 18,000 words out of it. I'm going to plug it in and try and continue on it.
That's great.
I am going to be a rebel as far as the forums are concerned. Yeah. But if I can get 50,000 words out of it, okay, I get 50,000 words out of it.
Excellent.
Yes, half of it's already done.
But you will have completed your project.
Exactly.
That's what the goal is. So.
Yeah, and if you look on the website, not just in the forums but in the rules, it says you can be a rebel if you want.
Well, nothing is ever absolute, considering the goal is to participate. That's what we're after. Participate in the project.
Yeah, I think they actually have shirts. NaNoWriMo Rebel.
Yeah.
For those that do 50,000.
Those that do the rebels.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be interesting, definitely, to see. Okay, we're going to come back in just a moment for the last part.